Have you ever felt like life was happening to you and not for you? You're going through the motions day to day, controlled by emotions and external circumstances? Yeah, I've been there too. But what if I told you that you could flip the script and master your own mind? Today, I'm going to be breaking down how you can become mentally unstoppable so that you can build a strong mind and in turn, build a strong life. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. My name is Carys and this is where we talk about how to elevate your life, unlock your full potential, and become the highest and best version of yourself. If you enjoy content like that, then make sure you subscribe and join the family. Connect with me on Instagram. I also have my audio podcast, Highest and Best, linked in the description below, as well as my vlog channel, Life with Carys, that will also be linked in the description. If you want to learn how to master your mind and become mentally unstoppable, then just keep on watching. First, I want to discuss the mind trap. Most people are trapped in their own thoughts, so they're left captive in their own mind. Your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy, and most people allow their mind to control them rather than them taking the power and controlling their mind. Now think about it. How many times have you managed to talk yourself out of certain situations because of fear of failure? Or maybe you're consumed by certain situations that happened in the past to the point that you can't move forward. These are all mind traps. But the great news is that you can break out of these mental chains. But it all starts with recognizing these traps for what they are, becoming aware of certain thought patterns, certain challenges that you face, and then be able to flip the script and create new ones that are actually going to serve you. Now, this is where mental toughness comes in. It's like a shield that allows you to protect yourself against the fluctuations of life, the ups and the downs. Mental toughness will allow you to not be so easily shaken up by external circumstances or other people's opinions. Whatever happens that is negative, it will stop you from being impacted in such an emotional way. But the thing is, it starts with being able to make the decision to control your thoughts and your mind. Because if you don't, everything just goes rampant. Your thoughts will be all over the place, and then it can lead you into spiraling into a downward motion, and that is not what we want. So let's dive into some mindset tools. Now, the first one is one that will drastically change the way that you see everything. It will help you manage your stress, and it will help you be able to look at situations logically. And that is to think about what you can control. When a certain situation arises, no matter what it is, you need to look at it and say, can I control what's going on? It's one way or the other. If you can't control it, that's it. It doesn't need to have any more of your time, any more of your energy, and any more of your peace. You leave it alone and just accept it for what it is, because you can't control it. If you can control it, you need to look at it from a logical stance and not an emotional one. When you're looking at it logically, you can then break down what it is you need to do to resolve the situation. And if you don't make the steps to resolve it, then you may not care about that enough in order to actually solve it. For example, I used to be in the health and fitness industry. People complained all the time about their weight. Can you control it? Yes. Okay, logically, not emotionally, what steps do you need to take in order to lose the weight? Start eating clean and probably less of it. Eat more protein, exercising more. Caloric deficit, that tends to be what will get you to lose the weight. If you are complaining about your weight, but you are not taking the steps to do anything about it, then you probably don't care enough to fix the issue. I used to have people come to me week after week, month after month, and they would complain about their weight. They knew what they had to do to fix it, but they wouldn't do it. And what that told me is they didn't care enough about actually losing the weight to put action in around it. If it's something you can control, if you can't do anything about it, accept it for what it is. If you can do something about it, take action to fix it. And if you don't, then you may not care enough about it. Another mindset tool that will help you is actually from an old Taoist story of a farmer, and it's called the maybe mindset. What the story tells is that Every time a situation came up, good or bad, the answer was maybe. So this farmer, his horse runs off, and typically you'd think that was bad, but he thinks maybe. The horse comes back with other wild horses. So instead of being bad, it was good. Then his son goes and gets on one of the wild horses and tries to ride it. Falls off, breaks his leg. Maybe bad. But then because of the broken leg, he couldn't get drafted by the army. Maybe that was good. Every situation that came in, the farmer looked at it, not good, not bad, it's just maybe. By adopting a maybe mindset, it allows you to just let things be. Stop letting certain situations control you and allow you to react so strongly because you don't know whether it's going to be good or whether it's going to be bad. Personally, I know I've got very many situations in my life that I reacted to so strongly, I saw it as so bad. But in hindsight, I look at it and it was a blessing in disguise. I know that there are situations that you feel that same way as well. So try adopting a maybe mindset, and instead of labeling something as good or bad, it's just maybe. Control your emotions, master your mind. Next, I want to talk about a couple of tools in order for you to build resilience. First things first, the power of solitude. Now, you may have heard me talk about this before, but I stand by you need to be happy being alone. You need to be comfortable and even enjoy being by yourself. It's an incredible way to build self-awareness because when you are on your own, not being around other people, not ideally being stimulated by screens, by phones, by TV, you're spending time actually in your own thoughts. You can see what comes up. You can see, are there certain things that you need to work on? Are there certain thoughts that may be popping up that might be something that needs to be healed? Being on your own without stimulation also helps you be creative. It gets your mind going. It gets your mind moving in the right direction. For example, when I go for my walks every morning with my dog, I don't use headphones. For one, it's also safer just to be more aware of your surroundings without headphones, but I stopped using headphones because I wanted to just be in my own head, clear it out, get clarity, see what certain things come up. And there have been incredible creative ideas, projects, things that have come up just because I've been able to get my flow when I've been walking. Your second tool for building resilience is to practice present living. One of the biggest struggles that people face with their mind is depression and anxiety. Now, I don't anymore, but I had both of these in the past. Severely. Medicated, everything. And one of the things that helped me a lot was learning present living. When you're depressed, you are dwelling on the past. The past doesn't actually exist anymore. It's gone. Once again, going back to what we can and can't control, there is absolutely nothing we can do to control our past. It has happened already. It is gone, done, doesn't exist. When we look at anxiety, it is when we are worried about the future. First of all, the future is not promised to anyone. We can plan for it, but there's no point in worrying about it when we are living in the now. If you know me, you know I'm a planner. I like to be prepared for things. I like to put my best foot forward in preparation, but I don't worry about the future anymore because what can I control? I can control what I do right now, because what you do right now will be reflected in your future. There's a quote in the Bible where Jesus says, "Can any of you who worry add an hour to your life?" And that is a scripture that will always stick with me because I used to be such a worrier, such a stressor about everything. And then I realized that what is the point? We can't add an hour to our life by worrying. It's a waste of time. It does not solve anything. What we can do is be present with what's going on right now, do the best, be the best that we can be, and then in turn, everything will move in the right way forward. Focus on being present with what is in front of you today. Number 3 is to seek discomfort. If you want to build mental resilience, How do you expect to do that if you're not putting yourself in places where it can be built? Look for ways to step outside of your comfort zone, to put you in faces of certain challenges that you need to build up that resilience. I'm not saying you need to do something massive. I'm just saying look for small ways, small steps that you can push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone to then in turn build your resilience. Number 4 is stress management. Now, a lot of this comes into what we spoke about earlier with looking at situations with what you can control and what you can't control. Also, for me as a Christian, I look at certain situations and see that, for one, God will not give me more than I can handle. If I can't manage what I have on my plate right now, how do I expect for Him to give me more? And the second thing is, when something doesn't go my way, it means that God has something better in store. I started looking at the real estate world that way. When certain things didn't go to plan, when certain things fell through, it was not meant to be. God had something better around the corner. He had something else figured out. Our plan B is God's plan A. Learning how to manage your stress has incredible benefits, not only for your health, for your mind, but it's going to help you be able to master your mind and not let certain hurdles or obstacles or challenges constantly put you into a fight or flight mode to the point that you're worried and anxious about everything that's happening. It's a lot more of a peaceful way to live when you learn how to handle your stress. The 5th way that you can build resilience and master your mind is with your self-talk. The way you talk to yourself has power. There is power of life and death in the tongue. And the way that you are talking to yourself will allow you to either have an upwards trajectory or a downward spiral. In the Bible, Jesus says to believe as though you have received it and it will be yours. So when you are praying, you're believing as if you've received it. And a lot of people mistake this for material things of, acting like I have $1 million. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about asking for wisdom. I'm talking about asking for clarity about certain situations. I'm talking about seeing yourself as God sees you. The truest thing about you is what God says about you. So whether you speak to it in prayer, say it as affirmations, but ask God to give you resilience. Ask the Holy Spirit to guide your mind in the direction that it should be going. Analyze how you are talking to yourself. If you are constantly tearing yourself down, if you are constantly negative about the progress that you're making and the things you are doing, how do you expect to have a good mindset? You are living rent-free in your own brain. Control the words that you are speaking over yourself. And do not believe every thought that pops into your brain. Becoming mentally strong and mastering your mind isn't about not facing challenges. It's actually the complete opposite. It's about developing resilience through overcoming obstacles, through facing challenges, and then bounce back stronger every single time. The OG of mental toughness is David Goggins. If you don't know who this is, look him up on YouTube, Google him. I highly recommend his book, Can't Hurt Me. I know he has a second one out as well. I have not read that one yet, but it's on my list. He had a rough upbringing, which he talks about in his book, and he did not allow that to stop him. He put himself through challenges, obstacles, and hurdles on purpose in order to continue to build his mental toughness. He ran ultra marathons. He went through Hell Week twice. He ran a marathon on a broken foot. Now, I'm not saying you need to go to that extreme. I'm just saying he sought discomfort. He put himself through challenges in order to build up his mental toughness. I will leave a link to his book in the description below. Highly recommend. With mastering your mind comes controlling your emotions. And that's why emotional intelligence is one of the skills that I stand by is something that every adult should learn. And they don't. Emotional intelligence is being able to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions as well as other people's. It will allow you to handle certain situations better. It will help with being able to look at things logically and not emotionally. We naturally, scientifically, make worse decisions the more heightened our emotions are. So when you're able to handle and manage what these emotions are, keep it as neutral as possible, you'll in turn make better decisions. A tip for emotional intelligence is being able to respond rather than react. You see, reactions are emotion fueled, and that is not how we want to be handling any situations. You want to be looking at things logically. Therefore, in order to respond rather than react, you need to figure out what brings you down to neutral. When emotions start to get heightened, do not give any reaction. It could be in person, it could be on the phone, it could be through text. Take a second, figure out what can bring you back down to a neutral mindset, and then give a thought out response. The more you practice things like this, it will help you to take control back over your mind. Mastering your mind is a journey. Give yourself patience and give yourself grace. It is something that needs to be worked on and practiced continuously. It's not something that you do once and that's it. Bingo, you've mastered your mind. It's something that will take continuous work, especially in the world that we live in. Our brains aren't built to process all of the things that we do every single day. But you change your mindset, you change your life. So comment below. I want to know, what is one step or one thought or one action that you're going to take today about beginning to master your mind? The link to my highest and best community group is in the description below, and you can meet other people who are on the same journey to elevating their life and unlocking their full potential. Make sure you subscribe, join the family. Make sure you check out my highest and best podcast and also my vlog channel, Life with Carys. That's going to be linked in the description below as well. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out this one next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.